plastic is a great material, but we should not be using something that takes hundreds of years to break down to provide us with a service or a purpose that we need for only a few minutes, like a drinking straw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, seconds.
Hi, I'm here with my dear friends Stephanie and Wesley Wright, and they come up with this wonderful company, this idea of a zero waste company called Ahimsa Eco Solutions, and we're here to talk about it. So where does this idea come from, guys?
So it came from our travels. Steph and I ended up traveling in India and Southeast Asia for a little over half a year, and on our travels we were at a night market, and we ended up seeing that within an hour of the night market starting, all the garbage cans were completely overflowing with waste, and just seeing
plastic waste
specifically, and it really touched us, and we felt that we could do better.
And then we started traveling in places like just natural places like Mexico and India and Thailand, and just seeing the beaches and the sides of the roads covered in like plastic and styrofoam and stuff that was just being washed up on the shore, not necessarily from these countries themselves, but from all over the world. And just realizing how much devastation is being caused by all of the waste that we generate.
Okay.
Just wanting to do something about it.
So, and if I remember correctly, you've been always very ecologically conscious, being from the generation X as well. Like that's kind of built in you.
Angry activist.
And now you've turned it into a company, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I've always been really passionate about the environment. I think really ever since a child. I've always ridden my bike, always done organic gardening. We've composted from the get-go, reused materials and packaging. But yeah, it was the catalyst with the trip, and felt that instead of me just making my lifestyle green, helping to raise awareness and educate others on how they can in turn lessen their impact through reducing their waste and not focusing on disposables and focusing on reusables.
Okay. And creating a solution.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Instead of just like talking about
Instead
it.
of just raising awareness about the problem, helping to empower people with letting them know, here's a solution.
Okay.
I think that's the most important part, is that we don't realize how much of an impact we as individuals can have simply by choosing to reduce our waste consumption and to bring our own reusable items with us. It can just one person alone can have a massive impact on the environment. Never mind if you get your whole family involved or all your friends. That could create a movement that could really, really benefit and sustain the planet.
Yeah, I mean, just one example is if you have a reusable coffee cup, and let's say you drink 2 coffees or teas a day, and 6 days of the week you drink that, if you use reusable for every time that you drink the coffee or the tea, then in 1 year alone, you'll end up displacing and preventing 624 disposable coffee cups from entering the landfill. So that's pretty impressive for one person alone, just doing what they're normally doing without changing their lifestyle, except choosing to bring a reusable container with them. And it's pretty easy.
About 600 if you take 2 per day.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's about average. We looked at industry average, just averages of what people consume, and we got our statistics from there. And so the reason why we chose the products we did is because these are the main pollutants that end up in the oceans and in the landfills.
So that's a lot of waste that doesn't need to happen. I think we're used to so much convenience as before, and our ancestors had to walk for, even today, right? A lot of people having to walk so many miles every day to get water, and because we have water so available, we don't even want to carry a bottle, which is a little, again, it's like the choosing instant gratification for long-term gratification, which is not a big deal. It's not so hard, especially because they're so pretty. They're so nice, these products. So carrying that bottle, it's doing something good for sure.
It is. I mean, it's important to recognize that we're creatures of habit, and it's difficult to change our habits initially. But with enough incentive, after just a few weeks of doing that, then it becomes habitual to have actually already changed that to the point where we're not even aware that we're now bringing these reusable containers or the eco pouches with us.
It's not even like, just about the planet. It's also about our own health, like for example, drinking water out of a plastic bottle has been shown, like that water has been shown to have up to like 10,000 plus particles of plastic in it. And we're putting that in our bodies versus, bringing our own water bottle with us or bringing our own coffee cup, like where the cups at Starbucks or the other cafes are lined with like polyethylene. Yeah, and we're drinking all of that plastic. So this is it also benefits us directly.
So it benefits the planet.
Yep.
Benefits us and our health.
Yep.
What else does it do?
Or does it need to do anything more than that?
We're creating a better world for the next generation.
That's
too,
what I mean.
right?
Yeah, like we're doing is like what the importance of taking care of the planet and where does that come from?
Pardon me.
Like what is the purpose behind this company and taking care of the planet? What comes behind that? Why are you guys doing this?
It comes from heart. I mean, it comes from a love of nature and a love of other people. I mean, whenever we throw something away, there's no such thing as away. Like what is away to us is actually home to somebody else. And so it may be out of sight, out of mind for us, but that garbage that's clogging the ocean or somebody else's landfill could be in somebody else's backyard.
And I mean, a shocking statistic that I heard, which really made a dent on me, was that every single piece of plastic we've ever created from like the beginning of plastic time is still, like it still exists on this planet right now. Every single piece of plastic, because plastic doesn't break down and go back into nature like other organic materials. It just breaks up into tiny pieces, which end up again in our waterways, in our drinking water, and finally in our umbilical cords and in our like the fatty tissues of our bodies. So it doesn't go away. So we really need to find a better solution. And I really believe that as humans we can come up with that. For now, like if we just rely on industry to do that, we might be waiting a very long time. So we just decided to take matters into our own hands and let's just start reducing our waste and show them that there is a demand, that people actually do care. And if they do, like I really believe that if there's demand, there needs to be supply to meet that.
For sure. What you said, it's very important, not waiting for the government or companies to do it, but to start from us, right?
Yeah.
The change should start from the individual.
Yes. Yes.
And that will in turn encourage industry and government and the suppliers and manufacturers and service providers to respond in kind.
Yeah.
But there's a need for it now. So let's not wait. Let's take action ourselves and take the initiative.
We're already seeing like countries like France banning single-use plastic, or India, or BC banning plastic straws. So, and the UK has also been extremely progressive about this. So definitely we're also seeing, from a governmental perspective, kind of stepping up to the plate to say, okay, people are asking for this, like let's do this, right? Yeah.
And just going back a little bit into plastic, I remember when I was studying ordinary school or high school that it would take around 1,000 years for it to break down. But does it actually break down, or how long would it take for plastic to just be harmless to the environment?
You could argue that plastic never really becomes harmless.
Okay.
But plastic doesn't really break up so much as it just simply breaks down. Because plastic
doesn't break down.
but plastic is not really a natural organic compound. And so there are very few organisms that can sort of eat plastic.
Okay.
And so all it does is when it's exposed to sunlight, ultraviolet radiation, water, and just physical force, it will break down into smaller and smaller pieces, but it never actually changes its organic structure. And so that's why we're now hearing of things like beer and sea salt actually having microplastics in them.
Fish.
And so that enters the food chain and in turn enters our body, so that any toxins or any other chemicals that are more harmful to us can actually bind to the surface of that plastic. And then when we take them in, we're also ingesting all those toxins.
Okay.
So there are real health concerns related to plastic.
And you said there's a few organisms that can eat plastic?
Well, they're now finding, I think it was in a factory or a landfill in Japan, there was an organism that was found
Uh-huh.
to be able to subsist on one specific type of plastic,
Okay.
but one, that's very isolated.
Yeah.
Two, it's only one particular strain.
Uh-huh.
Three, it's only one type of plastic.
Okay.
And so we can't assume that that's going to be the solution to the plastic problem of the world. It starts with us, and let's just look for easier alternatives that don't rely on plastic. Plastic is a great material, but we should not be using something that takes hundreds of years to break down to provide us with a service or a purpose that we need for only a few minutes, like a drinking straw.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, seconds.
Do you see any in all your research? Because I know you guys had a lot of time to research what you wanted to do and like solutions and everything. So, did you came across ways how to do with the plastic that already exists right now? Is there anything that came across research? Anything?
It is difficult because there's so many different types of plastic that it's not like one type of plastic that can just be all collected, brought together, melted down, and reformed into something else.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Many different plastics, once they've been heated and formed into the material and the form that they've taken, they can't be reheated and reformed. But even then, we think of recycling. Collect all these plastics and then just reconfigure them so that they can be recycled and repurposed to something else. But the problem is, many plastics cannot be reintegrated into the same thing. And if they are, it's very energy intensive. And it also requires those plastics to be clean. And that's why, I don't know if you heard, but on January 1st of this year, 2018, China ended up really clamping down on its purity requirements for the materials that are brought into China that are imported for recycling purposes. Because a lot of us in the West, when we send our materials to China, they're just too dirty, that they contaminate the entire lot and it's thrown out to landfill. And so it really behooves us to think about the plastic that we generate, and even the stuff we put in the blue box. We think we're doing good by recycling, but if we take that yogurt container and it's dirty, or that peanut butter jar and it has food residue in it, we risk contaminating the entire lot. That could be up to a ton. And that would otherwise be recycled, but now because it's so dirty, has to be sent to landfill.
Yes.
And
so recycling is not the answer.
Yeah.
You know, I think we need to start with the first R, which is reducing or even refusing altogether. And it's really simple, just to bring our own containers. Like, you know, I bring my lunchbox with me to the grocery store or to the deli, and I just get them to fill this, and that avoids like up to 300 plus styrofoam containers from going, like one person alone can divert up to 383, I think, plastic containers from going into landfill.
Well, even more simply, if you just one styrofoam container for food, if you eat one meal a day, that's 365 styrofoam clamshell containers that you're avoiding being sent to the landfill.
Which to me sounds ridiculous, but I guess there's a lot of people who do eat out every day.
Yeah.
And they eat out in containers that are just one single use.
Even if you go for sushi, right? It all
Yes.
comes in plastic, you know, just get them to make your sushi and put it in here alone. Right? I brought this the other day to this organic food shop in Toronto, and they made me a vegetarian burrito, and they just put it in here, and it was great, you know. And I mean, even like the latest you know, biodegradable plastics that are out there that are more plant-based, if those are going into landfill, they're not going to break down anyways, so because they're not being given the right conditions to break down. So even things that are biodegradable or compostable that are going into landfill, you know, that's not the solution either. I really think, you know, we need to do our part.
Well, not just that, but I mean, we're in Toronto in Canada, and all the bioplastics, like all the disposable cutlery that's made from cornstarch and bioplastic, and all the like the rice husk or the bagasse and the biodegradable food containers, that all goes to the garbage. The city does not accept that for recycling or even for composting sometimes. So that's a disturbing fact.
Depends on where you are.
It does.
It depends on the municipality.
And I do remember that from Wes. I think he was at our place about a year ago or something, and it's like, hey, I'm using all these plastic bags, but I recycle them. So I feel so proud that I was recycling. And Wes was like, yeah, but that's not the first R. The first R is reduce.
Yeah.
So you try to reuse,
Yeah.
reduce, almost everything.
Yeah.
Reuse, yes, reuse.
Reduce,
you reduce,
recycle.
Yeah.
and then the things that you cannot reduce, you reuse them,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
the last thing, it's recycle.
Yeah.
It's like, you're right, it's a third option, not
Yes.
the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, I call that the wisdom of West.
Oh, my life's work is over. I'm done now.
Yeah.
I think we all just need to do the best we can. There's going to be situations where we can't necessarily reduce or reuse, or but we just, as long as the awareness is there and the intention is there to do the best we can, then I really do think that we can make that shift in society. I think if we're too rigid and too strict on ourselves, that's when the best intentions sometimes break down.
When it becomes a religion.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, which we can all see it in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this. I was playing this card the other game. This game is called What Do You Meme? And you just have to. There's cards with a picture of a meme, and then there's cards that says like funny things, like Cards Against Humanity. And one of those cards said, "When you're a vegan and you haven't told anyone, tell anyone in 7 minutes." Which kind of becomes that like relief
Yes,
aspect
yes.
to it.
Yeah,
Yes, can be.
yeah.
Yeah, but for
Yeah.
sure, like creating an actual solution.
Yep.
It's amazing. So guys, this looks like plastic. What do you mean it's not plastic? What is this? What is this made of?
So this is actually made from rice husk, which
Okay.
is an organic and biodegradable material. It's historically seen as waste from processing of rice. And what happens is they actually take this and they bind it using natural ingredients so
Okay.
that it's an alternative to plastic. You're right, it feels and looks like plastic.
Yeah, and it's even shiny.
But the shininess is from the wax that's naturally already included in the rice husk itself.
Okay, so it's like fiber.
So there is fiber in there. I mean, it's essentially cellulose based that gives
Okay.
it the structural strength.
Oh.
But it'll still last for a good 4 or 5 years. It is
Okay.
dishwasher safe, but we do recommend washing by hand. But it's biodegradable. So at the end of the life, and you will notice as you use it, it slowly does start to break down. But yeah, it's biodegradable and it's non-toxic, BPA, BPS free, no phthalates, no heavy metals.
The thing that we liked most about this is exactly as Wes said, it's biodegradable versus like a stainless steel cup, which is great as well, because stainless steel you do reuse over and over again, but stainless steel isn't, but as it would probably take thousands of years for stainless steel to break down, and also that it's not as readily recycled. So this is a good alternative because
Okay.
it's biodegradable.
And it's a little bit gentler to actually achieve and get and acquire the raw materials, because stainless steel is a great material, but the ore extraction is just very energy intensive and resource intensive to remove it from the ground.
Yeah.
Whereas rice husks are right there.
Well, this is also, it serves another benefit to the planet in that it is diverted from landfill or from being incinerated. The incineration in the countries where this is produced creates a lot of air pollution, right? So that's one thing that this is diverted from. Or if it goes into landfill, even though rice husk is an organic material, again, because the conditions are not there for it to break down, it doesn't break down. And so therefore it could create methane gas, which could contribute more to climate change. So the diversion from landfill and the creation of a product is another benefit as well too.
Yeah,
Okay.
circular economy.
Yes.
And you said this is silicon?
So that's food grade silicone.
Okay.
And so that's from silica, which is the same material as sand. So
Okay.
there's no petroleum that's
Okay.
actually involved in either the creation of the food grade silicone or the rice husk material itself.
It is
Okay.
recyclable or reusable. So for example, if the cup itself does break down, keep the lid, keep the sleeve, and we'll just, sell the cup itself on its
Okay.
own as well.
As a refill.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
But we're also excited about a few other things. So
Yeah.
we have what we call the Eco Travel Pouch. And this is actually a great way to carry any of your utensils, your drinking straw, your cleaning brush. And you can actually have 2 straws, 2 sporks or pieces of cutlery, and then the cleaning brush. And the travel pouch itself is actually made from upcycled Mayan clothing. And so they're made at a local women's cooperative in Guatemala. And they're made from existing clothing that the Mayan women have worn. And so the blue and it also doubles as a napkin as well,
Mm-hmm.
or even a placemat.
Or a placemat.
Place setting, a place setting. Yeah.
Yes.
So you could put this, you could set your dinner table with this as well.
Yeah, and
It's
so
very beautiful.
the blue is actually cotton that's been naturally dyed from the indigo plant, the leaves of the indigo plant.
Okay.
And that was the skirts of the women. And then the actual colored fabrics are made from the shawls and also the blouses of the Mayan women. We carry 7 different patterns from 5 different communities, and each community has its own unique combination of colors as well as patterns and symbols and figures that they embroider into their patterns that are unique to each one according to their mythology, their beliefs, their customs. So it's really interesting.
So
Yeah.
it does quite a few things for the environment. First being that these are fair trade. So this is it all folded up with the straw inside. But these are fair trade. So we support the local women's co-op. And it's actually been interesting that in the book, what's that book called again?
Which one?
The book, oh gosh. I can't
Zero
remember.
waste?
No, there was a book with the 100 solutions.
Oh, Drawdown.
Yes, Project Drawdown, where the author listed 100 ways to prevent or to help to reverse climate change. And number 6 on that list was actually supporting women, like indigenous women. And so this is one thing that we did. So we're, it's a social enterprise, but it's also environmental by nature as well too, where we're actually supporting these local women's co-ops. They in turn are creating these beautiful products, but again, not from virgin materials, but from repurposed, upcycled materials. Again, diverting them from landfill, where they would not break down and create methane gas and so on and so forth, but instead creating these beautiful, beautiful products that are also environmentally friendly as well too. Again, these napkins, can also replace paper napkins. They hold these straws, they hold sporks, you can take them with you, these beautiful little kits that you can take with you, and displacing up to 730 plastic spoons and forks from entering again into our beaches and our oceans.
Okay.
These glass straws, I don't remember the stats for the glass straws, about 600 a year.
Yeah, I do get annoyed when people use straws. It's
Yeah.
like, why? It's
I
like,
know.
"Oh, because of my makeup." It's like, that's why I use a straw every day. It's like,
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
straws are sort of a mindless habit that we don't think about. I definitely see that kids, like, maybe young children might need straws, or people that, for like various health reasons may need straws. But the average person drinking a margarita in a bar doesn't really need a straw. You can just drink that.
Yeah, for sure.
And there are some people who choose to use drinking straws because whatever, like they may be worried about staining their teeth, or with lemon or lime waters, maybe the acid affecting their teeth. And so everybody has their reason if they have a reason for using a drinking straw.
There's a solution.
But
yeah.
there is an
Exactly.
alternative,
Exactly.
and it's
Tell them about the
reusable.
straw.
So there are many options out there. We've even heard of copper, but stainless steel and borosilicate glass, which is Pyrex. And we chose to carry Pyrex because of the fact that it is actually made by a company in Canada, so in North America. It's made from the highest quality, so from the Czech Republic. But Pyrex itself is actually shatter resistant. When people hear glass, they're like, "Oh, it's gonna break."
Yes.
But we could break it. And I mean, I dropped it from a meter height, or 3.5 feet, and it just bounced on the floor.
Okay.
And
We have friends, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
have friends who have children who are actually our eco-ambassadors. They have children who are under 3 years old, 2 of them, and they sword fight with these glasses. These glass
that is what we
straws.
encourage people to do that.
And they don't break. So.
But they come with a 5-year limited manufacturer warranty. And the nice thing about the
cleaner.
borosilicate glass is that it's clear. And so a lot of people tell us they like the fact that it's clear or transparent, because when you clean it, you can see that it's clean, and you have that peace of mind. And it just feels good. Like the mouthfeel is really nice to drink from compared to the potential metallic taste you can get from stainless steel. So there are many great options, but we feel this one is the
that's
best
what you
for those
found.
reasons.
We chose the glass straw for those reasons. Personally, myself, I don't like steel straws, but I know there are lots of people who do. Bamboo straws as well have, because they're organic, they have a tendency of getting a little dirty on the inside. So
And mold.
and mold, yeah. But again, like, great options. We're not any option is better than plastic. So whatever you're using, just use it and don't use plastic.
Okay. And going back to this, you've said that because they've worn it for years and years and years, even though the colors are so bright,
Yeah.
they don't give color.
They don't bleed when washed.
They don't bleed.
Yeah,
Yes.
hot water or cold water. You
Yeah.
can wash them in hot water. We've even tried ourselves, and they don't bleed because, as Marco said, they've been used for a long time, and they're all washed. So, yes.
And it is my experience, because I still have some Tibetan shirts from India, and they're 100% cotton. They're super bright, but they don't give color, and they're almost as new as when I bought them 7 years ago. So
Yeah.
indigenous people, like the way they use, I guess they use fabrics and cotton and linen. I say it's better than many of the other normal companies I've seen.
Who knows?
maybe this is-
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it is beautiful. Like, the colors are still extremely vibrant, even
Yeah.
after they've been worn for up to 10 years. And so that does speak to the quality of the textiles, the quality of the dyes, and just the quality of the materials that they're using for our products. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. And about the spork, we're gonna put it on here. We left it in the car somewhere. So tell us about the spork. It's made of bamboo.
It's
Is
actually
it?
made of wood. It's a
Okay.
tropical hardwood, and I love sporks and
Okay.
playing around with camping stuff, and I've tested a lot of different ones. The ones that we chose to carry, hands down, are what I feel to be the best. They're
Okay.
ergonomic. They feel really good in the hand. They're lightweight. Because they're a hardwood, they're extremely tough and durable. And they also the tines of the fork itself actually work, because all the bamboo sporks and the forks that we've tried, they're not very useful at stabbing and picking things up.
And the spoon is a bit too shallow to
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
that we found so far. But we're always looking for good tree-free options if we can find it.
Okay.
But having said that, though, they are wood, but we support with all of our products. We give 10% of all our sales to different causes and organizations around the world that are doing really great things for people and the planet. And one
Okay.
of the organizations we support is an organization called Sadhana Forest. They're based in Oroville, India, but they also have branches or locations in Kenya and in Haiti, and they've planted more than 100,000 trees so far.
Yeah, 180,000.
180,000 trees so far. So, and they're continuing to plant trees. So we're definitely giving back we're offsetting our wood sporks with supporting this organization.
And I
Okay.
know that bamboo is often seen as a material that's preferred to wood, but both are organic and will break down naturally. But
Okay.
but we have helped to offset the trees that have been chopped down for the sporks. But even for bamboo, because of how much of a market and demand there is for it,
Yes.
that even in China and in other countries, they're actually clear cutting rainforest in order to actually create land with which to grow or on which to grow bamboo. So it gets to be very tricky. Very
What do you
quickly.
do, right?
Yeah.
We just make the best decision that we can.
For
Yep,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So also what I'm hearing is that you guys are open to knowing more about different technologies or different products that people are already doing, so you can possibly carry them as part of your line. So if any of you, dear viewers that are watching, please let us know, get in contact with me, get in contact with them, I'll hook you up with them, and then see, so you can start a dialogue of different alternatives.
Nothing is perfect. We started with the best of what we could find, but we're not always aware of all the options that are out there. So absolutely, as Marcus said, we're always open to finding out more or hearing if there's anything that's better than what we currently have. And absolutely, please do get in touch with Wes or myself or through Marco. Let us know if you know of anything that's better than what we have right now.
Great. Do you guys have anything else to share?
I think that's it. Just thank you for this opportunity. And I mean, really, we're not trying to tell people what to do. We're just trying to really raise awareness for the fact that this disposable lifestyle where we just go somewhere and unthinkingly accept the food being served in containers that are disposable, or fast fashion where you wear something for a season and then you get rid of it. Just let's prolong the life cycle and the useful life of things. And so reusable is always preferred over disposable.
Absolutely.
However that manifests for people.
And we're just really grateful that people actually care. You
Yeah.
know, I think people really do care deep down inside, about nature and about each other and about ourselves. And so, it's making this change it really has a huge ripple effect. And just spreading the message that this is really, really important, especially right now. So thank you for caring, and thank you for the opportunity.
And for listening and watching.
Yeah, we love our friends.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here, part of the program. And we'll put the website on over here, somewhere on the screen. And you can in contact with them and buy things for you, for your friends, for Christmas. And if like for example, I just bought a straw for a friend who uses straws every day because she has makeup. So it's like, I have straws because I don't want to mess up my makeup, so I got her straw. So you can do that.
Yes, exactly.
You
But
can
most
force
importantly,
force them into being eco-friendly.
but don't just buy the products. Make sure you use them.
Yes.
Use the products. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you have any questions, any comments for them, please put them down in the comments or send them an email. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So guys, if you're gonna buy any product, please make sure you use the promo code ECOYOGI, YOGI, to get 10% off your first order.
Hello my dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know in the comment section below, and make sure to like this video, share it if you think anyone can benefit from it, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't, so we can keep you updated on more awesome videos on yoga, mindfulness, spirituality, psychology, etc. Thank you so much.